Hi Pumas and Puma families. So today or earlier this week, your teacher should have gone over how to do number and sense place value homework for weeks 1 and week 2. If not, then this video is for you, or in case you forgot, or in case your guardian is watching. So instead of only having 1 week to do some sort of math thing, typically we do a math performance task at the beginning of the unit. Instead, we sent home this number sense and place value tic-tac-toe. And instead of having 1 week to complete it, you have 2 full weeks, which means it's not due next Thursday, but the following Thursday. So here's how it works. You have to complete 3 activities to make a tic-tac-toe. So it could go across, it can go diagonal, it can go vertical, or earlier this was horizontal. So any of the ways you can to make a tic-tac-toe. Now, if you complete 3, like I did these 3 maybe, and I want to do like an extra one over here, then that is totally okay. But I first need to make sure I do a tic-tac-toe. Now, parents, we talked to scholars about how some of these are more challenging than others. So we talked about how you need to find one that matches your strength or will push you in your area of growth. So for example, for me, maybe I'm struggling, maybe I'm really good with the procedural, doing procedural things. I might then work on a causation activity talking about a famous mathematician, because for me, doing something like this perspective activity is too easy. So I instead, and maybe my area of growth is in writing and research, then I should focus on causation. So you can really adjust this to make it fit you. Some scholars were talking about how they want to challenge themselves and get a tic-tac-toe all this weekend and get it done, and then they were going to make another tic-tac-toe. Other scholars who feel like math is an area of growth for them were talking about how they want to do 1 this weekend, and then 1 next Friday, and then 1 the following Friday to really spread them out because math was harder for them or it's an area of growth. Whatever you need to do. So I'm going to go over some samples really quickly of something you can do. So one of mine that I chose to do was this creativity one. So it says, how creative can you be? Create a picture made up of different numbers. It must include prime numbers. So prime numbers are is a whole number with only 2 factors. So for example, 1 times 11, this is the only thing that I can do to get to 11. There's nothing else to get to 11. I can't do 2 times something to get to 11 or 3 times something. It's only 1 and 11. So 11 is a prime number, 13, 17, 19. There's so many other ones. I must also include millions. So something that has to do with millions. So remember that's a number that's 6 digits. Has to do with multiples of 6. I was skip counting 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, and I could have kept going. And factors of 42. So what times what can get us to 42? So I was brainstorming and I thought 1 times 42, 6 times 7, 14 times 3. So now I have to create a picture. So here is my picture that I started, and it's not done yet. But you can see that I have some hearts all over the page. So if you count my red hearts, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 red hearts. And on my purple hearts, I have 1, 2, 3. And if I go back, 14 and 3 are factors of 42. So I hid factors of 42, but they were hidden within the hearts. I also have on my little person here who is selling lemonade, they're wearing bracelets. And they have, if you count their bracelets, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They have 12 bracelets on their hand, which is a factor of 6. In my tree trunk over here, I tried to hide the number 11 and 13, which are prime numbers. And in my tree too, I was going to turn this into like a leaf, and with my color crayons I could really color it and try to hide it. I have a number that's in the millions. So I have 3,500,000. I was trying to hide in my tree. So I was trying to do it like a search and find. So that was one example of creativity hitting all of the success criteria. So another one I showed was form. So use a large piece of paper or a small piece of paper, it doesn't matter, to create a poster that will teach your classmates all about the numbers of you. You could include things like your height, arm span, shoe size, circumference of your head, etc. Be creative and fun. So I was starting to make mine, and it says, Mrs. Wammas, height is 5 feet 7 inches. So I wrote it out and I showed it in abbreviated form. And then since we're learning fractions, I tried to do, I know that in 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So I took a shape and I split it into 12ths. And then I was going to color it in and shade it in and show that I have 5 holes, or 5 feet, and then 7 inches. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I was going to continue and do some of these things. And I thought of some other creative things as well. So it could be all about you. It could be really silly. Maybe it's about how many toes or how many fingers you have. You be creative. The last example I'm going to give you is with perspective. So look at the following numbers. Present your theory as to which number or numbers do not belong. So I have 31, 28, 23, and 29. And for me, when I look at this, I'm going to try some different things. I'm going to do, well, let's see. When I do 2 plus 9, that's 11. 2 plus 3 is 5. 2 plus 8 is 10. 3 plus 1 is 4. So I'm thinking if that gives me any ideas. Oh, I'm not noticing a pattern, but maybe you can notice something that doesn't belong. Or what if I did 9 minus 2? So 9 minus 2 is 7. 3 minus 2 is 1. 8 minus 2 is 6. 1 minus 3, I'll get a negative number. So I think, you know what? I think 31, in my opinion, 31 does not belong, because when I subtract the tens or the ones from the tens, I get a negative number, while on these ones I'll get a positive number. Or maybe I think 28 doesn't belong, because I noticed that it is the only even number. Or maybe I think 31 doesn't belong because when I add something else to it, it doesn't get what all these ones get. I don't know. There's so many different ideas. If you were in Mrs. Wammas's class, I showed you this one as our example, and you guys were thinking of all these silly and creative ways of why each of you actually had different examples of why each one of those numbers don't belong. So take your time and have fun with this, and know that you have 3 weeks to complete, or 2 weeks to complete it. However, we're still asking that you bring back your Friday folder next Thursday so we can put in your inquiry homework. Even though you're not starting your inquiry homework yet, because you have 2 weeks to do this, we still want you to bring your folder next Thursday. So have fun and dojo us if you have any other questions.